to you in a few minutes. Before, I want to talk to you about why I call this show It's All Good. Well, first of all, it's because my favorite cup, It's All Good. I know it's backward, but that's what it says. It's all good. And and that's how I live my life. Whenever life happen, I move forward in life. And if something bad happened, like really bad, even if it just happened like 2 seconds ago, it's now part of the past and I cannot change it. And if you can't change the past, there's no point dwelling on the past. Yes, there's circumstances that make us sad, that makes us angry. But if we stay in that sadness and anger, we're missing out the present moment, which is now, appreciating what's in here. And what can we do about the event of the past? Well, we can look at the what we can do to not repeat if it's a mistake. We can learn, we can appreciate, we can be grateful for the things that we have or don't have. So as you move forward in life, while you appreciate the learning experience of the past, you move forward with more positive and appreciation for what's around you. And you can't predict the future either. The future has not happened. And as we know, we plan like crazy and then we go into what we've planned and the shit hit the fan and then things don't work out the way we've planned. So now it became a negative event that's now in the past. So then you move forward and you deal with the situation and you learn. So it's a constant reminder to stay to the present and appreciate the present moment and learn from our experiences. So I'm glad you're here. And if you want to know more about me, you can find me. You can book a call with me if you want to be on this show, if you want to have a chat with me, understand what I do and how I do it and how I can support you. I welcome you to book a call with me and subscribe also to my YouTube channel where I've had over 100 episodes and I celebrate my second year anniversary a few months back. So now I'm over way over 204 at least 100. And I think today, I don't remember which episode is it today, but 110 or 14 or something. So just subscribe and go browse, search in the bar and look for the subject that interests you. So today, as I said, I have an amazing guest, and his name is Jorge. I'll spare myself on the last name. He can help us with that. And he's a managing principal. So let's find out what a managing principal do, and we'll talk about our topic today is modern transition strategy to change and grow. And as you know me, I like changes and I like growing. So let's welcome Jorge into the floor. Welcome, Jorge. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you so much. It's all good. I love your introductions. It
Thank
makes me
you.
feel good already.
Yes, because life is just a series of experiences, right?
You're
And we grow
absolutely right.
from those experiences. So I'm glad to have you here. So tell me about you and a managing principal. What does that mean? So, and how did you get to call yourself a managing principal?
Well, it's a large title, but I was 20 some years, a collaborative of colleagues and peers that
Mm,
actually help people to that are challenged by change or both.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's an organization called Partnergies that has been created about 22 years ago.
Mm,
And like I said, is dedicated about helping people to deal with change and growth through the and focusing on the strategic transition, something that sometimes
mm.
we forget. We would like to take a pill and change everything by tomorrow morning.
Wouldn't
Uh,
that be nice?
So that's how we help, and we are collaborative. So that means we get together for specific projects, and we bring the best of the best.
Oh, so it's a mix between partnership and energy. Partnergy.
Correct.
Wonderful. That's great. And so so tell me about Partner G. I mean, you said it's been existing for about 20 years and 22 years. And but I'm curious to what kind of people are in this organization and how they help other people.
Full question. Uh, groups at the same, whatever situation is,
Mm-hmm.
or organic nonprofit organization, or we because the work being the music and being work a really wonderful pleasure to country help on mind transition, and it helps me to grow. So I fascinated with that. Therefore, because
Oh, you're cutting out a little bit here, Jorge. So it's not, it's your bandwidth. So so you say therefore, and I didn't hear it.
I love to work with coaches and consultants and colleagues all over the world and
Oh,
clients that we have
wonderful.
all over
Yeah.
the world. Put it accordingly. For
Oh,
instance,
great.
right now we're working with a company in Spain that is going through transformation and expansion. We have worked with an Ecuador individual in Bolivia. So we have different places in different countries that work with people in
Yeah,
India. So all over the world and rich.
that's great. So you actually are located in California, right?
In Los Angeles, California, uh,
And where are you originally?
and I'm originally I'm Argentina, from
Mm-hmm.
Buenos Aires, Argentina, and I came to
Yeah.
the United States about 44 years ago.
Yeah, that goes fast, isn't it? Like I've been in Vancouver from Montreal. Like I moved from back from the east side to Vancouver on the west side. I think
Hmm.
now it's 27 years ago, and it's just like it went just like that. Just a blink of an eye. It's already 27 years. Time flies.
Good point, Denise. You see, that's what
Mm-hmm.
happened when we are in the middle of the challenges that we have. Time goes right. We, what we feel, we miss our countries, or we miss
Yeah,
where we
times
used to be.
drag. It's like
Right.
watching paint dry on the floor on the ceiling, right?
Exactly. But when we look at it from a distance, like you were just
Yeah,
mentioning, wow, things that went really fast. I didn't think that
yeah,
way. So
yeah.
that's interesting perspective.
So you've been telling me that you've been helping people on creating healthy habit in their lives. So how can, and that uh, uh, not coincidentally, but together, that will help people eliminating stress. So tell me a little bit about that. How can people, by creating healthy habit, will reduce their stress? And what are
Uh,
healthy habits? How do you define healthy habits?
that's a good question. That's how to start the answer. It's about each one of us and what is healthy. It's would be energy,
Mm-hmm.
would be more desire to be alive and to contribute. So as a of us will have, we know something that is getting for us our best, and so they dig up the best of each one of us in every single
Mm.
process, and so that's basically what it is about working on this is finding the few things and work one thing at a time, small little battles, so we don't think the whole war is in front of us. Do
Yeah.
things in a small.
Yes. And because I imagine that everyone healthy habits is different. Not, of course, there's the classic, like smoking, drinking. These are bad habits. So eliminating that is building healthier habit. Motion and healthy eating. These are healthy habits. But there's also a full range of healthy habit. And do you consider some healthy habit on the professional level? What would that look like?
Say exactly that. For instance, we know on the personal level, so those most health things that we think, but I see it has behaviors that we have, and
Mhm.
sometimes it's habits because we have been doing it for a while, inherited, we have learned from others. So
Yeah.
the same in a business organization or in a nonprofit organization. We has been accepted, what has been inculcated into ourselves. And so we think that's the best way we can be. And so leaders, for instance, have a certain way of doing, teams have a certain way of operating.
Mhm.
And so I would say change the word habits for behaviors. And that's
Mhm.
where you find what is healthy. It means it moves the organization forward, it produces the results, and resolves the problems that they need to resolve. And we move forward with a vision in mind, right? With a large
Mhm.
vision in mind.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And our topic is, modern transition strategy to change and grow. And how do you see integrating these different habits for an organization to make some changes, because that's what the healthy habit or behaviors or in a sorry, in a business setting, when you change them for the better behaviors that will help you grow. But how can you see what you do integrating that into a company? Because I imagine change, a lot of time people are pushing against change, right? They're comfortable in their old shoes. So how would you elaborate on that?
You're absolutely right. Where human brain has again a lot of millennia, the evolution of human mind, the brain, our brain is conditioned to respond negatively to change. It has been a bad association
Yeah.
because change is a surprise, something we're not used to, and we tend
Insecurity, right? That brings insecurity and stress and
exactly. I'm sure when you move from Montreal, moving to another place, is very know anybody, you don't know things. Even
mm-hmm,
if you know
mm-hmm.
one person, you don't know how they
Yeah.
behave. So it's always a little bit uncomfortable. And for some reason, our human evolution conditioned our brain to be resisting change. So we can say all the things that we need to do. We need to eat well. We need to, show up on time at the meetings. We need to say all those, and we all know what we need to do. We're being told, and we know, but it doesn't mean that it's easier to do. So behavior change is first of all, it starts with acknowledging what it is and and why we want to do it, uh,
Mm-hmm.
both individual level or an organizational level, or in a team level. Sometimes it's about how a small team, a family, for instance, I consider it could be a team if they work
Yeah.
as a team.
Yeah. Yeah.
So working together is very important if we have a sense of where is the purpose, what is that we're trying to accomplish all together, for instance, as a team. But it
Mm-hmm.
start with accepting that each one has different conditions, different resistance that are maybe sometimes uh, known, sometimes unknown. But it's accepting what we are, accepting our emotions, and just knowing that the process will take time, but also dealing with that in a persistent way, not giving up. So that's what I'm a big proponent in setting up a series of activities that produce means something that will,
Mm-hmm.
because when we do a small win but we feel good about it, we're more
Yeah.
encouraged than anybody else could tell us.
Yeah.
So that's what
Absolutely.
is encouraging. And so if we set up those things in terms of first a small win and a second win. So for instance, when I do strategic planning for organizations, I do a whole typical this volunteer plan that takes months. I usually do it on a small scale, so we do it in three stages. The first stage is an immediate, what I call hypothesis, some sort of involvement. This is what we're trying to. This is the theory, and we test it out while we're doing the bigger thing. So there is already a small wins,
Yeah.
or we learn from it. Remember, there's never loss. We either win or we learn.
Yes, exactly. That goes exactly with what I said at the beginning, right? It's always
Exactly.
a learning experience, or you get curious about, okay, that didn't work the way we planned. So now why and how can we make things differently and get curious and learning. It's like Edison, right, that invented the light bulb. It doesn't say you fail 1,000 times, you learn 1,000 times how not to do it.
Yes. For instance, Denise, maybe I could ask you, how did you get to that point of awareness? How did you know? Because at the beginning, when you didn't succeed, I'm sure you.
Mm-hmm.
So the immediate reaction be critical and to pull back. How did you
Mm-hmm.
overcome that? And how did you teach yourself to learn from every situation, like you're saying?
Yeah,
What
for
did you do?
myself, what I've done is it's developing an attitude of gratitude was the first step.
Mm,
Is to, whether I win, whether I lose, I'm grateful for the event because I'm learning, I'm growing, just like you just mentioned. And of course, it's not something that appeared in my life 100%. And I've said that
right.
a few times in my videos, is about about the same time as I moved here 27 years ago, or a little bit 30 years, 37 years.
Mm,
I practice a lot of emotional intelligence. I learn about it, I develop it in myself, and then at that time I became 100% responsible for what happened to me. So by doing that, it allowed me to keep my power, because when something, let's say something negative happened, and you say, oh, it's not my fault, he did this, or she did that, or I had a car accident, well, they cut me off. Yeah, well, I was not paying attention to what's going on around me, so I got into
mm,
the accident. Even if somebody cut me off, if I could have seen it, pay attention, see it coming, right, then I would have avoided the accident. So a lot of time when things happen to us, we give our power away. So what I did is I kept my power, and I became responsible for everything that happened to me in my life with gratitude. So when you take the power, you say, hey, that's my fault. I should have, I could have paid better attention. I could have, did this and that. And when good things happen, I take full power too, right? Like I created this. I'm happy. Look at what I've done. So it goes both ways. Being 100% responsible is you celebrate the win bigger, and you learn, and you're grateful for the loss. Let's put it this way. And then I was able to move forward with exactly what I've said, to learn from these experience, and to stay in charge and in control all the time. So that's how I did that. Oh, are you still there?
wonderful.
Yeah, there you are. Oh, you're cutting out a little bit. So tell me, if
Beautiful.
maybe.
So what I hear from you is that first. So what I hear from you to do about.
Yeah,
Can
go
you hear
ahead.
me? You, Denise, is that first of all, there was a level of that that's what you were doing. You were losing
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
power by giving it away. Then it
Mm-hmm.
became a sense of, that way. So you took it back and you recognized. And then finally, it came up an idea of gratefulness, right? The gratitude for
Mm,
being more empowered, which rebuild it. And you, by doing that, you happen all the time enough
yeah.
so we can build that
Yeah.
muscle. Yeah.
Yes. I don't think you'll use your second camera, so I'm going to remove it. I think that might increase your bandwidth. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
So now that might give you more bandwidth because you only have this camera. You had two camera on for some reason. So tell me about, what is the main challenge that your clients face?
Well, I guess you indicated is
Mm-hmm. Doubt,
could be a
resistant to change. Yeah.
yeah, or it could be, can I do it? That's a the
Mm-hmm.
doubt can have ourselves. So I would say the first. The second level of resistance um, is the level of persuading others or influencing others to support you. So again, a question to make things happen,
Uh-huh.
or in a family role where you need to
Mm-hmm.
and
You need the family to support you, of course, of course.
right.
If you want to eat
Uh,
salad and you see like French fries and burgers and fat food around you, it makes it harder. So if everybody support you into your change,
uh,
then it's a lot easier.
and then that's what I found out, that the power of our power is very, very important
Mm,
to make
yeah.
changes. So even if we don't have a family, for instance, some people go breakups and don't
Mm-hmm.
continue a family,
Yeah.
or their family leave. You work with a lot of people that their children's leave, and reason they feel
Empty
the pain of
nesters.
being
Yeah.
empty nesters. So what is important is to find or to build along the way before that,
Mm-hmm.
as long as a group of close.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I may find that it's just friends, or occasionally people that agree with us. It's easier to find some people that think the way we think. But really, allies are the people who support our objectives. For instance, a group of support would be very good. I'm sure you create some of those for your folks.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Um, so creating a group of allies in which we can share and we can be acknowledged and we can be validated with what we're going through is very, very important, and also
Mm-hmm.
gives us perspectives, ideas that we never thought about. It we cannot see everything. So that's what I think would be very important.
Mm-hmm. And they
how,
help
the, how
us
do you
stay.
work
Yeah, they
with
help us
your
stay.
people?
They help us stay accountable, right? Like I have in my every week, like at the moment I'm not working with a specific coach because I often have a coach, that help me
Mm,
just like the same as I help other people. But at this moment I don't have a coach, but I have one, two, three, four accountability call a week with different people, right? So these are my coaches in some ways, right? We brainstorm together, we bring ideas, we support one another, we set our goals for the next week or for the next month. Like, but four different people that I meet weekly, that on every level, like some is more personal, some are more professional, some are, and that helps me just to know that if I don't do what I say I'm going to do, I have people that's going to say, "Hey, you say you were going to do that and you didn't do it." Right? And that's a motivation for me to be accountable. In truth, we can only be accountable to ourselves, but in reality, when we have people looking at what we do, yeah, we're most likely to do it. Like if you say, "I'm going to lose 50 pounds," and you only tell yourself. So when you take that piece of cake, your husband doesn't know that you shouldn't be eating that piece of cake because you only tell yourself that you're going to lose that weight. But if you announce it to the world and you take before picture, you post them, remember that picture, and a year from now, when it comes back in my Facebook, memories, and I'll post the after picture and you'll see the transformation. Right now, you commit yourself, to really transform yourself for a year and to dedicate your life, and you can post in between pictures, and then you have people celebrating you and supporting you and being with you. So I
Yeah.
think that's how change can be done also, right? With having a accountability group, support group, and especially in a team when you work. Once you're in a meeting and you say, "Okay, you do this and that," like everybody has their task, and when you meet the next week, you expect other people to have done what they were supposed to do, right?
But it's like you say, group or in individuals. I would
Mm-hmm.
like to call them more a support, because, like you say,
Yeah.
when we fail, we would like to be supported by them, because we don't, like I said, we don't win in every time, but we either win or we learn. So
Yeah.
it's about not have a sense of losing. So I take accountability very seriously when I work with organizations,
Yeah.
and it's about mutual accountability to support accountability. So it's not about, oh, why didn't you do that, because that creates shame, that creates guilt, but
Mm-hmm.
it's about what happened, what is that you need to make it win next time, what
Yeah. And
did you
how
learn
can we
from it,
support you? Right.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a
Yeah.
big difference also. Being there to support one another. It's not like, you know, tapping on their finger and say you're such a bad girl because you didn't do it. I mean, it's like how can I support you? So let's say let's go
Yeah.
back to weight loss then, and the woman, the wife and the husband, and the husband see that the woman is struggling. Okay, how can I support you? Okay,
Yeah.
if I'm not bringing the food, for example, the husband eats chips and cake and he doesn't care, like if you don't bring it in the house, it'll be a lot easier, right?
Right.
And say,
Right.
okay, I'll support you in that. I'm not going to bring, and
Right.
I'm going to eat the healthy food the same as you. And I'm going to, let's do this together, And then he leaves and he go have a burger, but that's okay. Once they're together, when they're together, they can,
But you learn from that opinion. Let's say you learn from that. Let's say this. The help accountability, but in supportive accountability to
yeah,
find out what is instead of going backwards.
yeah, yeah. So do you have any practical suggestion um, for people that want to implement change and grow in their life? So what would you suggest?
Absolutely. I would first of all define exactly what that change is, but define exactly doesn't mean a very precise way. I would say is create a range.
Okay.
So sort of a a funnel between here and there. So
Yeah.
it's a range on that purpose. Uh, and second is break it down into different stages or paces. Start very small,
Yeah.
very small win, very small action. That would be the thing. And then after you achieve that, celebrate it. After
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
achieve
Yeah.
that, individually and in groups especially, that reinforces that activity and encourages you to do the same thing. It's the same thing you were mentioning before when you talk about your group and accountability. When you feel celebrated, when you feel that you did good, and you actually are urged to do,
Yeah.
our accountability works. Well, if you're thinking that I need to you, that means my
Yeah.
mind already, I talk to you or not, my mind is already said, well, I told Denise I was going to show up today. I need to be there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. That makes a big difference for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
And so what is the best way for people to reach you? And I have it here, but you can talk about it.
What I obviously they could reach me at my website called partnergs.com. Again, is a combination of partnering and strategies, and then I offering maybe a quick we can have a call, we can have a conversation without commitment, and you can make maybe 30 minutes conversation. You can schedule a time that is convenient for you. That's what I could
Okay.
offer you. Is like
Wonderful.
down there, and I'll be happy to get to know situation with people. And if I'm not the right person to help, I could definitely refer to you.
Yeah, you know people. So absolutely. That's the best way, right? Like because as coaches, I mean, we meet coaches all the time and I've interviewed hundreds of coaches and business people here, so I have a great list of people I can send people to, right? Whenever
Right.
they if I talk with them and I can't really help them, then I know who could help them, and it's great to have a network like that and be plugged in for sure.
Yes, and you can reach me in LinkedIn as well. Probably the best way. You can see what are the recommendations that people have written, and anything you want to see about me that will give you a little bit
I
more
think if
background.
people search your name on LinkedIn, they will find you, right?
That's like you say, my name is a little bit unusual, hard to
Yeah.
pronounce. My friends, they hard. My friends call it Sciupac.
So for those that,
But
yeah, six pack, yeah, that's good.
so you
Hey,
can call
that's
me
who
six pack,
doesn't
but
who doesn't want to have one, right? All right, Jorge, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to have you here today. I appreciate all your insight and talk about, growing and setting goal and accepting changes. And it was such a pleasure. So I will share all our information in the chat below. So, and wherever you see this. So just stay there for a second. I'll be right back with you. So I hope you enjoyed the show today. Jorge Sixpack was amazing. I love whenever I talked to him a while ago. Actually, I've known him for over a year, and but we haven't talked all the time during that time. But then we talked a few times during that period. And oh, sorry, dry throat. Talking about being live. My apologies. So this is a great show, and don't forget. Remember, rather, no, say don't forget. Say remember. Remember, if you want to have a chat with me, you can book a call with tiny.cc/talk with Denise, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/ at Denise Belil. So I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Until next time, be kind to one another and have a wonderful week.